Alright, so this is day 2 with the bike, and I'm not riding it because I got a nail in the tire. It sucks, man. It went straight through the lug. It was one of those pallet nails. So I almost forgot. I'm entering in this image right here of the website Power Sports Max. This is where you can get the bike. It's shipped to me in Texas was $1,159.60, which was really good considering it's got the bigger wheels, the 19 in the front, the 16 in the back, electric start, and it comes with a headlight. And the power is pretty impressive too. Even if you don't do these mods, it's just a blast to ride, and the price is pretty damn good. It's it beats a lot of these other guys simply because it has the electric start, the bigger wheels, and the light. So enjoy the video, and we'll see you next time. One mod is the carburetor that it comes with. This is a, I want to say like maybe, well, I haven't measured the intake, so once I get it off, I'll measure it. But there's another carburetor you can get that's a much better, and it only has one setting for the choke, like that, where this one has like 1, 2. It has like a mid to it. So with this carburetor, you gotta let it warm up on choke for a long time. Then you can take it off and ride, or you can just ride with the choke, and then as it starts to warm up, you click it down once, and then another time, and then, you know. But still, with the way it is, when it's warmed up, if you go to really blip it, it'll just like, you know, it's like you got to go kind of slow. It almost feels like a safety precaution that they put on there, but I know it's not. It's just this thing's junk. So I think it's a Mikuni. Yeah. What's a VM22? Yeah, that's what it is. VM22, and it's a 26 millimeter. But a lot of people, they buy the Tao or they buy whatever cheap China bike, the X Pro, and they put this on there, and they're like, yeah, it's a big difference. So I got it for 24 bucks. Comes with gaskets and a couple bolts and that's it. And basically that's all I needed. It was the cheapest carburetor I can get for it because I already have an air cleaner. I already got the intake manifold. So with that said, that's one mod I would do. The next mod is we have a 15 tooth front sprocket. Now we can go lower in the back to gain a little more top speed, but really if you do go lower, your chain's gonna hit or rub, so you don't want to go any lower. It's got a 41 tooth in the back. The front, it's got a 15 tooth, and there's just enough room where you can squeeze a 17 tooth in there, so that's what I'm gonna do. Again, Amazon, $9. So that's real easy to replace. You just make sure it's in gear so it doesn't turn. Unscrew these 2 bolts, and then you twist off this retainer clip, and then the gear just comes right out. So we got the carburetor, we got the gear, the front sprocket. I'm gonna have to tighten down this spring as well because it's almost bottoming out. So I'm gonna have to, it's still got a lot of room to turn, so I'm gonna bring it down like another inch, and maybe 1.25 inches. So that's about all the mods I've got going on right now. I have a tail light that I'm gonna try to put in right there. Try to get that wired up, figure that shit out. But it runs great, man. It's fun. I got this cool helmet. I think it was on Amazon for like 65 bucks. Fits pretty good. I got about a 24.5 diameter skull. And this is an extra large. That was on Amazon. I think it was about 60 something bucks. It's pretty light. Looks really cool. Got some vents in the back. I wish it had holes right here on the sides where the ears were, where you can hear. That's the only thing I wish it had. But it's not like you can't hear nothing, you know. It's got these clips you can take up the sun visor if you want to. And yeah, man, you're gonna have to have one of these if you got a bike and want to bust your skull. When I was shopping for this bike, I didn't know what to expect. So if you are shopping for a bike like this, if you got any questions, just ask. This is the start button. If you don't want to kickstart it, it's got a kickstart as well. The plastics, the stickers are kind of shitty, but you can peel the stickers off and redo your own stickers. Up under here, you have metal almost all the way to the tip. So you have that much metal, so you can mount stuff. It's hard. And then it's welded to these bars, so when you need to pick it up, you can grab it. It's like a grab handle. Yeah, the motor feels great. I mean, I think it's just geared really high. That's why I want to put that 17 tooth sprocket on there in the front. I mean, I think that's the best you can do. Like I said, you really can't go low in the back because you're hitting the swing arm. So I'm gonna slap on this Mikuni VM 22 26 millimeter, and I think that's about it. That's all I'm really gonna do. Like I said, since I got the flat, I can pump it up with a bike tire. It stays full for about 5 minutes and then it goes down. But I'm gonna test out this new carburetor, and I'll chime back in and let y'all know what it's like. So to get to the carburetor, it makes it a little easier when you take the plastic off. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's another screw down there, and you just pull the plastic right off. Another thing, the fuel tank, it's about 2.5 gallons, which is nice. You know, there's a lot of room for it since it's got a small motor, and doesn't need much room for the battery. The battery sits down in there. And yeah, it's 2.5 gallons. I had a 5-gallon jug and I filled it up, and now the jug is halfway full. So that's the only way I know. It probably says in the manual, but I'm not going to sit there and read a whole manual just to see how big the tank is. The seat's really easy to undo. There's one screw right there. My finger is. You drop that one out, and the seat just kind of slides out because when you put it in, it slides in and it has like a little hook, and it hooks on this screw right there. And that's the seat. It's the bottom of the seat. Seat's nice. Looks like there's the relays. Some other electrical components. Really not too concerned. Looks like another plug, 5-pin plug. It almost looks like it's for another relay. It's like they put another one in there in case you wanted to do something. There's your fuse, a 15. It's the blue one. So a 15 amp fuse is the one you need in case something bad happens. All right, so we got a 15 amp fuse. All right, so yeah, I got the plastics off. Let me get to this carburetor now. It shouldn't be too hard. All right, so as we're progressing here, I went ahead and cut off the fuel. Cutting it off was straight up and down. That's a little confusing because it really doesn't say much on there. Straight up and down is off. Now they had the filter on there with the magnet. See the magnet facing the engine, and the magnet needs to come from the source. It needs to face the source. It even says they had it on there backwards. It even says on right there with the arrow. See the arrow? That's going to the carburetor. They had it like that. So we're gonna put it back like that. And then they have these fuel lines, which they seem all right. I don't trust that they're gasoline lines. And look at these little rabbit ear clamps they got on there. Such a cheap little way of doing it, which I really don't like. I have a kit of single ear. I think this one would probably be the size, and you just take some crimps and you crimp it on there, and you can't ever get snagged. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Even to the fuel tank. Look at that. This little bullshit little rabbit ear thing that's on there. That one wasn't even on all the way. Look, it was down there. It's supposed to be actually on the thing. Okay, so The fuel tank has a line going to this side and to the other side. Can you see that? Yeah. So we got 2 lines coming out of the fuel tank. I got some fuel line in the shop, so let's see if we can if this is the right size or not. If it is, we'll replace it all. And another thing is this is one of the fuel lines right here. Look how it's on this, it's touching this hot intake. So you might want to bring it up a little bit. Looks like there's a little bolt hole right there. I don't know what it's for. Oh, okay, I see what it's for. It's basically a blank. Get a zip tie and just hang it away from the motor. It's a good way to catch it on fire. This one here doesn't seem like it's gonna come down. It's pretty firm. There's enough, you can put a finger through there, so that's pretty good. I have a really good fuel line from the store. Even says fuel line. Coco Mocart. Coco Mocart. I got some Coco Mocart, man. It's gotta be better than this Ching Chong China line. But hey, you know, 1160 tax shipped to the house, man. I'm not bitching. Good bike too. So, and the bottom plate, you're looking at 1/8 steel. It's heavy duty. You can ram that. You're not going to damage the motor. Another thing I will say while this thing is draining is that before it had fuel in it, or before I went to put my first tank on it, I opened it up and looked in there, and you can see like moisture, like condensation all inside the tank. I was like, damn, that must have happened through shipping. You know, maybe it was really humid or something where it was. So I took a towel and like a piece of metal and kind of wiped it out. And I really wish I'd have done it a different way, but I was just in such a hurry to run it and just have fun. But if you do get yours, look for that. And if it has it, take some cheap gas, like a 1/4 of a gallon, put it in there and take the handles and go like that and slush it around, you know, wash it off. And then come down here and you'll disconnect that line, open it up, and then drain it all out. And that'll get the water out the right way instead of just burning it. But it seemed like it didn't affect the motor or anything. Couldn't even tell. I use 93 octane ethanol free on these bikes. That's even on the motorized bike, 93 octane ethanol free. That's it. I don't burn nothing else. All right, I got the nuts off right here, right there. So the nut would be a 10 and the bolt head right there, it's going to be an 8. You know, I was looking for the starter on this thing too, because a lot of the starters are up here. They put the starter right there on the bottom. It's this guy. See it in there? Did not know that. I was looking for the starter in the picture. I was like, where the hell is the starter? And it runs down to over here. So you have a chain that goes on the gear of the starter. So this is going to be the difference between the springs and slides. The one on the left is from the stock carburetor. The one on the right is from the Mikuni knockoff VM22. See, the spring's a little bit longer. Just a little bit. And the slide, it just connects the cable a little differently. You'd have to put this little soldered tip into there, then it hooks. Here is the way I like it, just slides all the way through. The needles, the stock one looks a little bit more pointier. The aftermarket one is a little bit more rounded. Other than that, that's the difference on that. But that's not what's gonna make the difference in the power and the throttle response, which is the major issue with this, the actual carburetor. So here's the knockoff. Here's the original, or actually closed and half open, where this one just has a plunger. See, the closed or open, which makes life a little bit simpler. This is going to be looking, like I said, the one on the left is stock. Let's see if I can get the bottom. Yeah, they're about the same on the bottom. And so they look damn near the same height. The aftermarket might be a little bit shorter, which is good. You know, the more space in there, the better. They look about the same. This, again, the aftermarket might be a little bit thinner, which again is good. Looking at the intake here, I gotta tell you, the intakes look the same. This one's supposed to be a 26 millimeter. I don't know what they measure, if it's just this intake right here. If so, I got a caliber. Let me check that out. All right, we got some very interesting information here. So, like I said, the one on the left is the stock carburetor. Let's check 24.8. I got it to say 25.7. Okay, I gotta get it in there. I gotta get the right measurement. There we go. Oops, moved it right at the very end. 25.7. So that's a 26. So it came with a 26. This diameter of the intake pipe is 26. The new one is 25.7. It's 26. Now, here's the thing. So let's discard the stock one for now. Okay. This was the stock spacer that was in there. This rubber O-ring goes up against the intake like so. Okay, and I was looking at this. I'm like, let me measure it and see what the size is on that. And I'm really pulling it tight here. 24.8. So you lose a millimeter. This is acting as a reducer. It's acting as a reducer. 24.8. So when you got this spacer on there that's supposed to be there, I would say it's good to have there, because it separates that metal intake manifold from this. So when you got this spacer on there, actually it's like that. Okay, that's how it would go on. You're reducing it by 1 millimeter. So there's ways around that, we all know. This is the one that came in the kit. I'm going to use the old one, okay? But look at the difference. Holy crap. I think they gave me the wrong one, or they're just like, they're really dumb. Look at that, 20.4. Man, if you put that on, you're really going to restrict it. I guess it's like if you got a kid or something and you don't want them to get all that power. So this is, I took some like 40 grit and then some 80 grit sandpaper and just stuck it in there with my finger and just swirled it. And now we're at 25.2. I think it was 24.8. It's pretty close to 26, so I'm just gonna roll with it. I don't think that's gonna make that big of a difference, but it's definitely not 20 like the one they gave me in the kit, which I'm not gonna need. So just to let you know, if you do go to get one, make sure that, and you don't already have one of these, make sure that the spacer they give you is going to be 26, if not close to 26, like what I have now. All right, got the fuel line on there. Coming out of here, you have these, that's where the hose connects. It's out of the plastic tank, and the nipples are plastic. So I went ahead and used these with the pliers, because if you went to use these one-ear crimp style, if you ever had to take it off, you might break the plastic. So these come off a lot easier, and they still hold firm, and they came with it. So here's the finished product. I got this line going to the cutoff valve, dripping fuel over here. This line is the little short one that goes to the cutoff valve and the shut off valve. And then this one goes to the carburetor, which I'm about to put on now. But now we have thick, heavy duty. I mean, this was the comparison. The one on the left is the new one. The one on the right is the one they had on there. And it's not bad, but it doesn't feel like good rubber like this. It might be the same, I don't know, but So yeah, now we got good fuel lines, and they're not close to the intake manifold either. Let me put the carburetor on now. I'm going to show you the carburetor in action here. Works out pretty good. I used the same top, so I didn't have to change that. This is the one that came with the new one. I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to add it with that one and sell it as is. It still works. It's just that the top is, I guess, it's not as tall as that rubber connector. Other than that, it's the same. It's got a little seal on the inside too, which is cool. But one's for bicycles. Motorized bikes, they don't have a little seal at the top, so you can get air leaks real easy. Alright, so the hardware from the other carburetor worked just fine. As you can tell, the bolt matches flush with the nut. So the base, or this mounting part right here, is a little bit thicker, but the original hardware will work. I did turn that screw, which is right there, 1.5 turns, and if I have to turn it again, I have one of those flat blades. It's like shaped like an L, so hopefully I can stick it up in there and just give it a little twist if I need to, which is nice because you don't have that starter in the way that's up there at the top. So that was pretty easy. I think the hardest part was picking up that big awkward fuel tank and trying to pour in 2.5 gallons really slow. So all right, so the original filter fits right onto the intake, and it matches up to the intake manifold. So all you really need, if you got one of these bikes or any bike like it, is you just need the carburetor. With the overflow line, I didn't like that kink that was there when I had put it through there. That was this line here. So I took another hose, crimped it on there, and ran it. I tied it off to this electrical wire, but I made sure none of it was touching the motor, just in case, you know, I don't want it to get hot, burn a little hole, you don't know it, then some gas burns out, then all of a sudden you got a fire. Not good. So, well, we got the gas in there. I think up is the choke. Yeah, that's weird on this valve. Look, it says fuel that way. Fuel that way. Which way is it? I already forgot which one is on and off. R, run, and it's got fuel, so I think up is on. And then if you, there's a inscription there, but it's not a letter. Okay, so our lines, check them. They're not leaking fuel anywhere. Crimped really good. This one's kind of touching the fuel tank, but that's not a big deal. Fuel tank doesn't get hot. Let me throw the seat on and get it started. I'll only put this cover back on too.
Whoa. Careful.
That's how it wants to pop up.
Whoa.
I gotta adjust the screw on the carburetor because it's not getting enough air. See, watch, it just wants to like lift up off of your wood. Wants to put in.
Whoa! I got that on camera. Stop.
Yeah.